Hello everybody, we are back with a new video after a long time. We are back. So actually, first of all, let me tell you, actually in my house, the first floor is studio. So in the first floor, a renovation was going on, removing tiles and all, coloring, everything was going on. So I couldn't record any kind of video. Now everything is set up. It took some time to set up. Everything is ready. Everything is cleaned up, looking fresh as new. So now I have set it up my computer and we can record our video. So in class 9, we have discussed the cell, which is present in our first chapter of our biology, but the first chapter of our physics is left. And many of students in class 9 are facing problem in physics. I know motions and the next chapter, force and laws of motion. These two chapters are interlinked, but they are broken into two parts named as motion and on the other hand the force and laws of motion, or the three laws of Newton. So first we are going to discuss the motion. First we need to understand that what is motion, then we can convert to our part the laws of motion or the laws of Newton. So in this motion part, we have read also class 8 a little bit in force part, little bit motion and object moving in a uniform motion, non-uniform motion, moving in a linear motion, this types of things. So in class 8 and class 9, the difference you can understand by reading this chapter from NCRT. Obviously, NCRT is very important. Don't get distracted of those like supplementary books like Eschon, the modern ABCs and all. I'm not saying that those books are wrong, but NCRT is very important because maximum questions are, you know what, never mind, 100% questions come in your exam from NCRT. And if you read NCRT of this class 9, 10 pre-board, class 9 is pre-board, class 9, 10, 11, 12. Means in case of suppose big companies exams and all like Byju's and Academy, Physics Walla, this types of exam also, in those types of high level exam also class 11 or class 12 questions will come from NCRT book. And you know, in the our NEET exam, we need to read the NCRT book thoroughly, because if you read line to line NCRT, you can be a doctor, which is a great post to be in with a lot of money and respect, which is more important rather than money. So first we need to understand is, let's just come back to our chapter and discuss the motion. So first, a motion. We have read the part in class 8, but let's just recall it for a second and just focus on class 9. So what is the definition? But see, in case of biology, I never tell or I never say that you have to read the definitions, you have to memorize it. No, you can just write on your own. The wordings should be right. But in case of physics, you have to write exactly written as the NCRT book. Otherwise, teachers won't give you the marks. This is the problem in physics. But if you understand thoroughly, it won't be a big deal for you to write it in a correct, full grammatical English. It is very easy, right? So first, we need to understand the definition of it. First definition, what is written in the PowerPoint? If the position of an object varies over time, the object is considered to be in motion. What does it mean? If the position of an object, see, in case of physics, we consider a thing to be an object, not as a things. We just say, pass me those things, or living things, non-living things. We give the term as object. See, first, for example, this is the mouse. This is my mouse. It's glitching because of the green screen. But for example, just saying, if we just carry anything in our hand, suppose my wristwatch, this is an object. In case of physics language, in physics, we have to say this is an object. If you don't use this word in case of denoting anything or any living organism, non-living organism, anything, you have to denote this word by object. There are some terms which you have to use in physics, otherwise your marks will be deducted hugely. Whole sentence, whole line, whole answer you have wrote would be wrong in case of physics. So if the position of an object varies over time, an object's position, suppose an object's position is 2 kilometers away from our home. After some time, after half an hour, you see it's 1 kilometer away from our home. So what did you observe? That in 1 hour, that object, yeah, that car, that object travels 1 kilometer. In half an hour, it travels 1 kilometer. So we can consider that object is that object is in motion. That object is moving. Suppose, see, I am just here, then I just move forward or again backward. My position changes over time. See, in suppose 850, it changes to here. In 851, I am here. So my position often by my position changes. So this thing is known as motion. That is, that object is considered to be in motion. You can see some examples: a car moving at a speed, at a velocity. This motion. This boy is moved from here, then here. See, from here to here. As its position changes over time. We can't pause time. So if we have to move, it takes 1 or 2 seconds or 0.5 milliseconds. So in time, if an object's position changes in time, that is known as motion. I am teaching it thoroughly because each and every word, each and every letter, each and every alphabet matters, or numerical matters in physics. In case of physics numerical questions, you have to read thoroughly, because in question only your data will be there, and by the terms of the data you can just put the formula and do the sums. It's very easy. In case of our normal mathematics, you have to use our brain, and in case of physics, just you have to find out the data and use the applicable formula which will be applied on that particular numerical problem, and your question will be solved. It is easy as it looks like. Okay, so now let's move on to the next part of our chapter, distance. Now see, the object we are talking about, the car. The car travels. So as I said that it travels before at 10 a.m. we have observed that car is 2 kilometers away. At 11 a.m. we have observed that after 1 hour it is 1 kilometer away. So what distance it covered? We can say by the term and the speed. See, the things I am speaking, it is very important, because I have said the speed and the time. Speed, by the help of speed and time, we can distinguish, or we can say that what distance an object covered. In 1 hour, it covered 1 kilometer. kmph, right? In 1 hour, it travels 1 kilometer. So the distance is the distance between our house and the object, the taxi, the cab, is 1 kilometer. So it was earlier at 10 a.m. it was 2 kilometers, but in 11 a.m. it was 1 kilometer. So what we have observed? We have observed that it travels 1 kilometer per hour. Means each and every hour, that car travels 1 kilometer. We have observed that. So this is the distance. But if you write this, like I have explained this, I'm just explaining you for you guys understand. It will be easily understandable. But if you write this, or even I write this, it would be considered as wrong in physics. You have to write this definition. See what I have written in the PPT. The distance covered by an object from its initial to final destination is called distance, or the distance covered by an object. See, again I am reading it. The distance covered by an object from its initial position to final position. You have to memorize it. See, I can just tell it blindfolded also. The distance covered by an object from its initial position to final position. It just means you don't have to memorize. See, I don't memorize anything. In case of English also, the poem in when I was child, 5 or class 6, we have to memorize the poem. Everyone knows. I didn't memorize. I got deducted marks. But I'm so bad at memorizing. But still, see, definition of distance is just memorized casually. If I'm just walking by and someone asks me, I can just tell, yeah, the distance covered by an object from its initial to final position is destination, or position. You can say destination, position, whatever, the same thing. It's called distance. But you have to write like this: the distance covered by an object from its initial to final destination. Like an object, this is the car. For its initial position, initial means starting position. If from here initial velocity, final velocity comes, which is a big deal and a big headache. It was a big headache, but I will just give you some tricks, tips, which would be not considered as a headache. It will be easier for you guys to understand, because I have suffered this velocities and all, but now it is easier for me, and the same way I will tell you, so it will be easier for you guys also. So initial position means from where the car starts. Suppose you have gone to market. From the shopping mall, you have to return home. So your cart starts, you start your car. Then its initial position, initial destination or initial position is shopping mall. But its final destination is your house. So from shopping mall to house, the distance you covered 1 kilometer, yeah, 2 kilometer, that distance is known as distance. The distance covered by an object means from initial to final. This term you have to use. You can just write the distance covered by an object is called destination. No, it would be wrong. From its initial to final, this term you have to use. Otherwise, it would be considered as wrong. Okay, I think you have understood. If you want, you can just write this in your copy or take answers. Okay, now let's move on to the next part. Displacement. Now see, just a second ago I have taught what is distance. Now again, this tree would be considered as A, the house would be B, and this tree, my closest one tree, would be considered as C. Farthest one is A, and the closest one would be C. So, and the house is B, it has written, but A, actually the farthest tree A has been cut it off because the PowerPoint slide is a bit slow. So I just cropped it. So I'm just telling, so just don't look at the definition, not yet. Let me just explain, then we will consider, just go to the definition part. So first see, the boy, that boy is you or the girl, whoever it is. You can just consider as well. So you are riding the bicycle from the furthest point A to point B. Then you go, just suppose your destination is to go to that point A to point C, but you are feeling thirsty, so you have to return home. So on the way, you just go to your home, point B, you just drink the water, and again you go to the your destination. Means the tree which you saw some mangoes in this hot summer day, you just want to eat it, so you just gone after eating some drinking some water, if that's why you feel thirsty. Because so see, from the where you are, from its initial position to the your house, point A to point B, it's 4 meters, and from point B to point C, your house to the mango tree, it's 3 meters. So how much it is? 4 plus 3, 5, 6, 7, 7 meters. So from point A to point C, the distance we have covered is 7 meters. The definition of distance, the distance covered by an object from its initial to final position is called distance. So initial is point A, final is point C. So the distance is 7 meters. You have covered 7 meters from your bicycle, by riding the bicycle. But if you haven't felt thirsty, or you sometimes you feel thirsty, but just tell no, I can just eat mangoes, it would be fine. I don't want to drink water, or I don't want to go to house. I will just go to shortcut. I will just take the shortcut and go to my point. It's urgent. Suppose you are very happy to see the mangoes and just eat it just right now. So just use a shortcut. So that shortcut is known as displacement. What is this distance? You have understood, from point A to point B, point C. 7 meters you have covered. But if you use the shortcut, it would be 5 meters. So this is known as displacement, not a big deal about it. The shortest distance covered by an object from its initial end to final end, or final position to initial position to final position, this is known as displacement. Means suppose a distance you have covered 7 kilometers, but it had a shortcut. So suppose when you are returning home, you use that shortcut, it would be 4 kilometers. So the distance you have covered 7 kilometers, but as you use the shortcut, it would be 4 kilometers. So you are just shortest distance from initial to final. Your initial is your home and final is your school. So as you use the shortcut, your distance had been decreased or reduced. One thing just keep in your mind, if suppose in case of sums or numerical problems, if your distance and displacement is same, then it is wrong. Your distance should be greater than the displacement. Means, or on the other hand, we can say vice versa, displacement should be smaller than the distance. Means displacement means the shortest distance covered by an object. You suppose you covered a distance, that shortcut you take, that shortest distance is known as displacement. I know this displacement sounds like a thing which is displaced from its position. No, it's first time when I saw this term displacement, I was like, yeah, this is displacement. I asked my physics teacher, and she said, no, dear, that is not the distance. The shortest distance is known as displacement. Sometimes it gets a bit buzzy or confusing. I know. Means in physics, maximum time we are in dilemma. Means we students are in dilemma. I can understand that. So I think displacement is also clear. Let's move on to the next topic. The difference between distance and displacement. In every chapter, difference is very, very important. In cell, prokaryotic and eukaryotes, that is important. In case of physics, difference between distance and displacement is also very important. So the first thing you can see in case of in the para of our distance. Distance provides the complete detail of the path taken by an object. See, distance, what distance does, it completely shows the path. If from here point A to B, completely the path, which was long path, completely shows that from here to here this object has gone by the help of GPS or anything, Google Maps you can see. But displacement does not provide the complete detail of the path taken by the object. If we take the shortcut, then how it will provide the total distance? It won't provide. We have taken the shortcut, the shortest distance we have covered. So this is the first difference between distance and displacement. Second, distance is always positive. Distance always positive, can't be negative. Suppose in morning your aim is to go to school. You have gone, your school is on the northeast side. You are going to the southeast side. You are going on the wrong side. You are doing it negatively. Means your distance is increasing, right? Your distance from your home to school is 1 kilometer, but if you go into the opposite direction, it will be 2 kilometer, 3 kilometer. So you haven't gone to your destination. So that is not considered as to be distance. The distance between you and your school should be positive because you are traveling somewhere. So that should be positive. So distance can be negative. And in case of displacement also, displacement can be positive, negative, or zero. Distance can be negative. Suppose you have taken the shortcut, but things hasn't gone as it should be because nothing goes as planned, right? You have to take the long cut again. Suppose you and the distance between your home and your school was 2 kilometers. You have just used your brain and taken a shortcut. It cost 4 kilometers. Somehow shortcuts may give a big deal about it. Somehow it costs 4 kilometers. Then displacement becomes negative. Means you have to cover the most distance, right? The greater distance we have to cover. Zero. Displacement can be zero. And displacement obviously can be positive also. This displacement can be zero proof this type of questions can come. This is present in NCERT book. You have to read it. Just told because this type of questions come in case of CBSE boards, I'm saying. So distance is a scalar unit. Displacement is a vector quantity. Scalar quantity, vector quantity. So now you can say, what is this? Scalar quantity, vector quantity, new term. I don't understand this. See, let me tell you. A scalar quantity. From the term scalar, we determine a particular speed. We don't determine a direction. So when a distance is covered by an object, we don't see the direction. This point A to point B. That the speed it has gone 4 kilometer per hour, 5 kilometer per hour, yeah, 4 ms, 5 ms, 5 meter per second, 6 meter per second. But the direction doesn't matter. But in case of displacement, it matters. Because in distance, this is point A, this is point B. From point A to point B, the car will go. There's no direction needed, right? From point A to point B. But in case of displacement, we need to see the direction because from here, point B, we can just take the shortcut. Distance, this is distance, this is displacement. So displacement is, suppose the shortcut, someone tells the shortcut is north side. So you have to use a north side to go to your point. So this is displacement. So as distance doesn't need any kind of direction, this is called as scalar quantity. As displacement needs a particular direction, because in a particular direction, if you go forward, accelerate forward, it would be on a, we can just reach our destination. So it should be a direction, and obviously speed is needed. If you don't use our speed, it will be on a rest object, it will be stationary object. We are standing as here. So you have to move. So speed is there and the distance is there. So as when an object is traveling with a speed and a distance, that object is a vector quantity. Or velocity, the difference between speed and velocity, the same difference between distance and displacement. And so this is very, very important. You have to understand, you have to remember this. Distance is a scalar quantity, displacement is a vector quantity. Don't try to memorize it, you will forget. You have to understand this in your whole life till you take the last breath of your life, you will memorize it. You will learn this. It's my guarantee. So the last difference of this chapter is the distance between 2 points may not be unique. See, this one is point A, this one is point B. The same example I am giving from half an hour earlier. So they are not unique, they are different. That different point A, point B is different, so the distance you covered by that is not unique. That can be common anything, but the displacement between 2 points is always unique. Means in case of displacement from here to from here, you just take a shortcut. It's a unique. It's not told. Means the shortest distance you are covering, no? So that is unique. But the distance means here, so we have to accelerate forward and our distance will be there. Our initial final position will be there. But in plus displacement, you have to turn the road. You will follow a unique road. So that unique point, 2 unique points can be unique. But in case of distance, no unique points, no unique distance we are covering. But in case of displacement, a unique distance we are covering. So let me just revise it, what we have discussed. We have discussed motion. If the position of an object varies over time, is known as motion. That object is in motion. So the distance covered by an object from its initial to final destination or the position is called distance, or the distance covered by an object. So the next is displacement, the shortest distance covered by an object from its initial end to final end. This is the example I have given. The shortest distance is known as displacement. And next, the distance and displacement difference. This is the distance is scalar unit, displacement is vector quantity. Displacement can be zero, can be negative, can be positive, but distance always positive. Distance provides the complete path, complete details of the path, but displacement does not provide the complete details of the path. Displacement between 2 points will be unique, always be unique, but in case of distance, 2 points cannot be unique or may not be. Means sometimes it can be unique, but maximum cases it is not unique. So this is the things we have read. This is the things we have read in this chapter. This is day 1 of our video, motion. We will meet in the next video. Make sure you read this chapter when the video ends, when the class ends, after watching this video. And because if you don't read the chapter, you will forget everything. You have to read one time, just after this class only. Just don't get too lazy about it. Just read it and just tell you're done. This chapter is done. These points you will never forget, but you have to read it sometime. Like on weekends, you're free. Just read the motion part, or read the cell part, this part. If you don't do this, you will forget. Because I forget sometimes. So what I do, just when I am free, my all works are done, I just read the chapter. NCERT, but make sure you read the NCERT. You will see in H1 the proper definition is the NCERT. A full paragraph is easy. It is very complicated. In case of H1 definition is there, I will read, I will get full marks. No, in getting full marks is not important. Remembering things, gaining knowledge in life is important. So we will meet in the next video. From now onwards, I will try to give daily uploads, because actually one problem will be there. My exams are soon, but I will try to give daily uploads. Okay. So this is it for the video. Thank you very much. Stay safe, stay happy.